there, welcome back to the channel. So the last time I made a video, I was working on the song The Hook, and that song needed a lot of work. I really don't remember recording it that clearly, which is another reason why I like making these videos, because then I can remember exactly what it was that went down, you know, when I recorded the song. And I don't remember that much about it. The drums aren't as good of a level as the last two songs I recorded. And the guitars were messed up. Not too bad, but they just sounded kind of messed up. And one of the reasons was that I had the Zoom, when I was playing it back that day, I had the guitars panned because, you know, I'm trying to get a stereo split. Part of the idea of, you know, recording the two different mics with the two different speaker styles, and then you pan them out and it just gives you like this bigger, you know, stereo spread, which I like. And it's worked well so far. So I had them hooked up like that, and I think I had them panned out pretty major. And when I was playing it back, I didn't have headphones on. I was just in here, you know, the other day, and when I was playing it back, it sounded like it was out of phase. And I was like, oh man, I recorded this out of phase. I thought I'd gotten over that. And what it was is that since this is a mono signal and they were panned out, it was treating it kind of like when you're driving around in the old days with an AM radio, or like in a car that has a mono speaker system and you hear Led Zeppelin, half the track, you know, has disappeared because it's in stereo and you're listening to a mono system. That used to happen all the time in cars. I don't know if anybody ever goes through that anymore. But because it was mono, it was missing, you know, some of the signal, so it sounded out of phase and washed out. I was happy to find out that it's not out of phase. There is a couple times where I came down awkwardly and it like sounds out of tune, but I may just leave it because, I don't know, in the spirit of like a kind of just a fun, goofy, sloppy song. It's kind of like Wild Thing or something, you know. So maybe I'll just leave that. But I am excited to play this back just to show you how much better it got since the last time. And I eliminated the acoustic guitar track that was on there. I put one on there to kind of beef up everything, but it was distorted and it wasn't really adding anything. I think the guitars sounded better on their own, but I recorded that signal too hot. So if I decide to do it again, you know, I'll just redo it and make sure it's not so hot. But it was really, that was part of what sounded so bad that day when I was playing it back, is that acoustic guitar track was super hot. Like, you know, distorted acoustic guitar does not sound good. Nothing is distorted, recording distorted sounds good. You know, when we talk about distortion, it's a pleasing kind of distortion that's happening, not this stuff where it just sounds, you know, it's just pushed and brittle. That does not sound good. And especially in digital, you can push things in analog way harder, you know, to that edge of distortion. It'll sort of saturate as opposed to distorting anyway. But digital, once you hit that, you know, you hear that sound, it's unpleasant. So what I did, I'll show you the work that I did. I made a movie about it so I can just kind of sit here and watch it. Now, the guitars were mono 7. There were several guitars. I had the main guitar, and that's what I'm dragging in here, and it looks really good. I like the way that looked. I'm playing it back just to make sure, but it's looking good. And so I'm going to do the usual things here. I'm going to go to classic filters. I'm going to high pass it at 100 Hertz just to clean up a little bit of the low end junk. I'm going to amplify this also because I'm trying to get a little more volume. You can see I've got a lot of room, so I'm going to go to minus 1.5 on that, and that pushed it way up. But it still doesn't look super compressed or like brick walled. There's still some life in there, and so I'm happy with that. That got a lot better than what was in the Zoom. So let's see what I did next here. I'm going to export it as a Microsoft, you know, Wave 16-bit. You got to make sure you use the WAV format. Now, the next guitar, that was the other input. As you can see, that's with the ribbon mic, and I consider that kind of like the right guitar. The other one was the left guitar because it was the left speaker or the left channel I had it in. And so, same thing here. Going to go through, do the usual classic filters, the Chebyshev Type 1, checking just to make sure nothing weird happened. And then I'm going to amplify, same thing here, going to go minus 1.5. And then output it, I'm going to name this one guitar right. The other one was guitar left. That one looks good, everything's groovy. So that got way better. Now, mono 8, I believe, is another, could be the bass. Mono 9. So mono 9 is the little guitar riff bits. So same thing here, going to do the same, you know, just it gets very repetitive. I'm going to do 100 hertz here on the classic filters. Amplify, this time going to go minus 1.5 again. And then name this one, let's see, everything that happened, but that looks okay. And I do know that it did a good job of cleaning up the track and making it usable. Now, what I eliminated one of the bass tracks. I found the one that was good, and I doubled it just to give it, you know, plenty of power. And the guitars, so let me just play it back for you, and I'll come in one thing at a time. So let's just start with the drums. I'm going to remove, and I probably haven't mentioned this before, but the output, there's an output button here, an output dial that allows you to get more gain, you know, out of the output. I've kind of got it at, like, I don't know, like almost 12 o'clock, because it was pushing too much out of this unit here. So you sort of have to play with your levels. Your monitor, you sort of have to get a decent level, and your output here, you got to get a decent level. Okay, so now let's just start with the drums. And like I said, everything sounds so much better. The playback last time was pretty rough. It was kind of a mess. So I'm going to start with the first snare. We'll hear the song come to life, and then we'll start with the first snare. So that's snare 1. Here comes snare 2. This is the double. You can see how that just brings so much to life. So much of it to life. Let's go all the way over to the other side to the bass drum. I'm going to do both of them at the same time. That sounds deep. That's why I don't cut it all the way off. I like to have that air. Okay, now we're going to turn on this mic here, the left overhead. I'm going to do both channels. That gives you more air, more sense of like this is the kid in front of you. Alright, let's do the right side. Okay, now I'm going to go get the guitars. Okay, now, let's do the vocal. We'll start the song over that where you'll hear the vocal with it. I like that feedback. that's the little guitar bit I was trying to find, sorry. Okay, there's a couple things that are jumping out at me. I might retract the guitars just because they sound like such a mess. But I might not. Depends. And the other thing is that I think I'm gonna try to triple the snare like I did on the other song. It just sounds like the drums are a little, I don't know. I thought this was sounding a lot better, and now I'm not sure. It does sound better than it did, but I just want to make sure the song isn't lifeless, you know. So I'm going to keep working on it. I'm going to try to make it better, but really my excitement right now is working on new songs. Now that I kind of have the record in focus, you know, I've got the 4 songs that I've recorded, and I know what I have. I sort of see what's in front of me, and that's where my focus is going now. All these songs can always be tweaked later. If I get them this close, I feel pretty good, you know, about it as far as its state of completion. So yeah, there's still some work to do, and I think what I'm going to do right off the bat is to add a few snares, you know, double, triple, maybe 1 or 2 more, just to give the snare drum a little more. And I can also always go back in and elevate those drum tracks, but the drums sound like they're getting buried by the guitar, and the vocal's weird. So I may re-sing it, may retract the guitars, but for now I want to move on to other material, because I could actually better this tune, and then it gets the boot. It's not even on the record, so we'll see how it plays out. Alright, hopefully some of this stuff helped you with your project. Next time.